When narcissists fear the final goodbye, unveiling their desperate tactics when on the brink of losing you forever. Do narcissists ever truly feel regret? We all experience pangs of remorse over past mistakes. But can someone incapable of empathy ever authentically atone? Introspection, contemplating alternate paths not taken that may have led to better outcomes, often spurs behavioral improvements. However, without self-awareness or concern for others, the meaning of sorrow remains elusive. Hollowness, like insects feeding off their environment, narcissists conceal their exploitative nature behind a facade of charm and vulnerability. But beneath lies an empty, fragile shell, unable to feel real human emotions. Fraudulent, their theatrical apologies and desperate promises aim to regain control, not reconnect. Skilled manipulators, they feign guilt and grief using sophisticated tactics tailored to re-ensnare their target. Self-interest and narcissist tears flow only for losing access to the utility, praise, and resources their victim provided. Their sadness stems from the burden of finding replacement supplies to feed their ego. Exploitation, viewing people as instruments to fulfill their needs. Narcissists don't mourn losing cherished bonds. With tunnel vision, they see only disposable tools, not unique individuals with innate value beyond material benefits. When a spouse, friend, or loved one finally escapes a narcissist's web after years enduring emotional torment, the narcissist faces a chilling confrontation with reality, the loss of their power and control. Awakened from the illusion of being infallible and omnipotent, their paper-thin false self begins to crack and crumble. But rather than confront truth with humility and courage, the narcissist desperately denies, blocks out, and distorts reality to regain equilibrium. When threatened with permanent loss of narcissistic supply, the attention, praise, money, status, and other benefits extracted from relationships, the narcissist launches a multifaceted assault, aimed to reassert dominance, regain the upper hand, and recapture the very people who find themselves on the brink of breaking free. The realization dawns her charming, successful husband, who she once believed was her soulmate, showcases all the dangerous warning signs of narcissistic personality disorder. His periods of warmth and affection seem to always pivot into bitter criticisms designed to erode her self-worth. His volcanic outbursts, sowing chaos, are reliably followed by theatrical apologies and professions of love so convincing she forgives again and again, intent on honoring her marital vows. After years questioning her own sanity while struggling to navigate his bizarre behavior, a trusted counselor helps her finally unravel his intricate manipulation patterns. In a pivotal session unpacking another bewildering incident, the truth sets her free. Awakened from the illusion, she gains clarity behind the doting husband's facade lies an empty, ruthless emotional predator driven by an insatiable need for control, praise, and sensations. Arriving home after filing for divorce, she braces for his reaction, armed with new emotional tools. Rather than rage, she encounters a husband she hardly recognizes, tearfully remorseful and seemingly humbled, seeking repentance for past failings. He admits his faults openly for once, appearing to truly hear her anguish. He speaks of wanting to improve himself rather than point fingers of blame. Weeks pass in relative harmony as he attentively listens, acknowledges wrongdoing, suggests couples counseling, weekend escapes, candlelit reconciliation dinners, romance rekindled minus the former put-downs. He even casually proposes a vow renewal ceremony to mark their fresh start. She nearly convinces herself of authentic change, until arriving unexpectedly to a weekend suite to find him locked in passionate embrace with another woman. Confronted with photographic evidence of the torrid tryst, after his panicked lover flees the scene, his initial shock morphs swiftly into indignation. Gone is the short-lived pretense of accountability. The glint of steel emerges behind his now glacial gaze. Boring into her with an eerie, unblinking stare, he unleashes bone-chilling accusations. "How dare you snoop around like a soiled little rat? All couples have unmet needs. You brought this upon yourself by failing as a wife focused on inane jealousy instead of making me happy." As she recoils, his vitriol intensifies. "We all have secrets. Clearly, he threw himself on me in a moment of weakness. I have enough dirt on you to bury any fraudulent divorce nonsense. For the children's sake, end this ludicrous charade now, and we start fresh." unless you prefer years of ugly legal haymakers that scar our kids forever as I drag your name through the gutter. Your choice, decide carefully. A rush of adrenaline surges through her body with crystal clarity. This isn't salvageable. Any last thin veil still clouding her vision burns away. She calmly demands divorce before exiting his toxic presence, vowing privately it will be the last time. Soon inboxes overflow with threats from unknown proxies to release scandalous video footage stolen from her husband's hidden home office stash. Defamatory manifestos depicting her as a deranged drug-addled harpy, determined to destroy him, circulate online to their entire social circle. She skims but refuses to fully read the fabricated details on her supposed affairs, the falsified pictures allegedly proving substance abuse, the preposterous fables framing her as violent and unstable. All aim to depict him the victim, herself the remorseless villain bleeding a good man dry. She initially attempts rationalizing with a few confidants closest to the spreading firestorm, until realizing she's merely re-engaging the unwinnable, crazy-making word salad games. She pivots swiftly to focusing energy disentangling financial ties with aid of legal counsel while documenting the escalating character assassination. Despite the thermonuclear smear campaign, she refuses further access to hijack her peace of mind. The truth arms her against his psychological warfare. Dark whispers and threats lose impact, finally grasped as acts of desperation from an unmasked predator clinging frantically to his illusion of power over her. Enduring many sleepless nights pondering her painful metamorphosis, flashes of their early fairy tale phases, once so filled with laughter, passion, and promise, pass fleetingly. The man she believed a soulmate now seems a stranger, his once charming smiles replaced by the glare of contempt at his inhumane mask slipping. But morning sun melt the cold remnants of night away. However traumatic facing the truth, she embraces the first steps of a newly visible path guided by her now steadfast inner light. She emerges finally from the years swimming endlessly against toxic tides. Others still struggle in darkness, desperate for hope too. She vows to carry enough flame to brighten the way when they too awaken seeking liberty's harbor. In this arduous passage, through life after bonding to a narcissist, then daring escape their gaslighting traps, she discovers that truth and freedom reign. When narcissists realize they are losing access permanently to reliable narcissistic supply, the attention, status, money, resources, and other benefits extracted from relationships, their desperation may drive them to ever more manipulative and shocking lengths to re-exert dominance over victims, awakening to their abuse. Yet even their most cunning and tailored hoovering tactics hold less sway once one sees them as merely next acts of street theater in a long-running show. Narcissists increasingly lose mystique and power once the illusion falls. When one stops scrambling fruitlessly to evade drama triangle traps set to recur endlessly, pivoting instead to untangle swiftly from financial enmeshment, the swifter one writes their final act, then exits stage left. By forging ahead, focused singly on reclaiming sanity and autonomy, one denies them oxygen to reignite toxic chaos cycles. The narcissist's false self feels so deeply threatened by targets, escaping long-held control. Their all-hands-on-deck assaults aim to recapture, destabilize, and dehumanize should never be underestimated or engaged directly, if avoidable. But falsely penitent gestures of redemption, however convincing, swiftly give way to champagne brutality once the heady sparkle loses its fizz. Behind the love bomb offensive awaits an abyss of malice and cunning. By connecting with others who endured similar patterns of intimate betrayal bonded to charming predators, one gains strength, knowing keys to sanity and freedom await those courageous enough to cut ties with soul-crushing exploitation. The supply-obsessed narc flees light cast on their penchant for darkness, so shine bright, remain strategically untouchable. The longest nights and stormiest deceptions hold no match for sunrise of human spirit glimpsing itself stripped of shadows and fog. Please share your own stories of that pivotal moment, realizing a toxic relationship couldn't be salvaged, and the methods you use to navigate life going forward on your own terms to claim joy and liberation. Your experiences and show of strength may inspire another haunted by self-doubt to trust their intuition when confronting malignant manipulators. United by compassion and moral courage, together we can end cycles of abuse by bringing more light. The only battles worth winning start from within.